Oh, it looks like this is a popular session. Lots of people piling in. So we'll just keep waiting 1 or 2 more minutes while everybody joins us. Okay, well, first of all, a big thank you to everybody for joining us today. I know a few of you heard the news this morning that we are absolutely thrilled to be about to begin a partnership with the University of Connecticut. We're in the final stages of an agreement to recruit into the full incredible range of undergraduate degrees at the University of Connecticut. But we didn't want to miss the opportunity of this conference for everybody to learn more about the university. So I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by Christina and Meg today, who are going to give us a bit of a whirlwind tour of life as a student at Connecticut. I know you're going to have loads and loads of questions. So on Thursday, we have 2 more opportunities to discuss and engage with Connecticut. We have the coffee and chat session, and Christina's also running a session which will dive deeper into the admissions processes and the whole undergraduate experience at UConn. But I think I'll pass over now to Meg and Christina. A big welcome to the Kaplan Partners family. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Can everyone see the screen? Does it say Explore? Because I see it differently than you do. Okay, good. Go ahead, Christina.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining with us today. My name is Christina Rivera. I'm the International Admissions Manager for the University of Connecticut, and I'm joined with our Director of our Ludwig Visitor Center, Meg Melborg, as well. And so Meg's really going to take us through a virtual tour of UConn and to kind of give a little bit of preview as to our university overall. And so we will have time for questions and answers at the end, so we look forward to answering of those questions, but also look forward to seeing some folks joining for our session on Thursday. So I will kick it off to Meg. Thanks, Meg.
Great. Well, welcome everyone. Thanks, Christina, and thanks, Claire. And I'm happy that Kaplan International is partnering with us. This will be great. My job here is to train the tour guides who give the guided campus tours to prospective students and their families. So we've created a PowerPoint for you today just to give you an idea of what our facilities look like and some of the experiences that people can take advantage of. Christina will go more in depth about academic programs and the application process on further sessions, but I'm just here to give you a look of what we're like. Let me get started. Let's see if this will actually do the next slide. Enter. There we go. Okay, so we're saying picture yourself at UConn. And this idea, we have several, if you go to admissions.uconn.edu, we have a number of virtual programs. We have live webinars weekdays with students who are providing information sessions that are more in depth than what I'm going to show you today. And they're every day. You can talk with the students. You can send questions in. We also have a virtual tour that's a 360 views of our main campus and stores where most of the students live. About 12,000 students live on this campus, about 16,000 attend it. And then we have regional campuses across the state of Connecticut where students can commute from home to those campuses, although a few of them, like Stamford campus, actually has residential housing as well. And we have a partnership with an off-campus apartment building at our Avery Point campus, but they're all part of one UConn. Connecticut's not that big a place. It's one of the third smallest state in the United States, and so it really is about an hour and a half in any direction from stores, and you can get to any of our regional campuses. So students can attend both stores and any regional campus. They're all considered UConn. All the credits transfer over. And students coming from all over the world can also go to any campus. However, most international students come to the stores campus. Let me give you a view of just some of our facilities so you get an idea of what we look like. This is an overview of the stores campus. Isn't it beautiful? So pretty, pastoral. And we started out as an agricultural school in 1881, and so we still have a large agricultural component, but we have 10 schools and colleges within the University of Connecticut. And as you can see, it's quite expansive. It's on about 5,000 acres up here in stores. And then we have our regionals in Waterbury, Avery Point, Stamford, and Hartford as well. And we also have a law school and a medical school and a dental school and a school of social work, and they're on other campuses nearby. But we love this picture because it gives you a really good overview of what we look like. This is an area in the center part of campus. We've had a number of renovations over the years. Nearly every building on campus is modern, state-of-the-art, with every bell and whistle you can think of technically. We have very few what you call like older buildings. They may look older on the outside, but then you go inside and they've all been renovated and they're up to date. So it's a completely accessible campus. We're rated one of the top accessible campuses by different organizations dealing with people who use wheelchairs or who have blind or are have hearing disabilities. So our campus is really open and inclusive of everyone. This is another example. Another view, we have a couple of lakes on campus. This gives you an idea of how far apart the buildings are. You can see a lot of the buildings are brick. And then this is one of our more recent buildings here. Again, all of our buildings are state-of-the-art. The good thing is that students don't usually spend all their time in one facility. They're walking around campus all day. They're going into different buildings. So even if you're, say, in the School of Engineering, and we have 5 buildings dedicated to engineering on our Storrs campus, you're not just going to be in those 5 buildings. You're going to be in other buildings all across campus. Students generally pick their major. They decide on it, settle on it by the end of their sophomore year. Some students enter with a major in mind. Other people switch. Sometimes they pick up a double major or a triple major, but they are going to explore the entire campus and have access to all of our facilities. I'm not going to name the buildings for you because you're not going to remember any of them. But this is in our fine arts area. We like to say our extension of learning goes in and outside of the building. You can see a typical example of a larger lecture hall. As you can see, every seat is a great seat. We have all the right acoustics and visuals so everyone can see, a connection for internet or Wi-Fi. We take pride in the fact that our classes are a mix. If you're a first-year student, you'd probably have 5 classes a semester. 1 or 2 of them may be in a lecture format as pictured here. 2 of them will probably be smaller discussion classes. Our math classes are capped at about 20 or so students, 25 students. You'll have a writing class of about the same size. Those will be smaller in size. You might have a mid-sized class. So within your 5 courses, 2 will be larger, 2 small, 1 medium size. By the time you get into your major in your junior and senior, or deeply into your major, I should say, your classes are going to be fewer than 20 students. Some of them will have 5 or 8 students in them. So you really do have that range from larger lecture halls to much more small, intimate-sized classrooms. And we want to make sure that all of our faculty and our students do stay connected. So there's the same thing that many other colleges have. We have office hours. We have about a 16-to-1 student-to-faculty ratio. But honestly, our faculty go out of their way to stay connected with students. So really, while you might be in a large lecture hall, that class usually breaks down to a smaller discussion section of maybe 25 students. And then if you need to go to office hours for one-on-one attention, that's also always available to you. So we like to say that we have all the advantages of a large college where you'd have all these great research facilities, and then you have the intimacy of a small liberal arts college because we are a liberal arts foundation. And so you will get to know your faculty, professors, as well as your advisors. Here's another example. This is in the business classroom. And again, a good idea of how our classes are set up. They're all very accessible for students. Here's another one where we have a mix of, these are sometimes you can take graduate classes as an undergraduate. Depends on what course you're in. This is a small discussion class. And there's so very few students in this class, so they really do run the range. Technically, all of our research facilities really are impressive. I have a friend who works at Pfizer, a very large pharmaceutical company in Connecticut, and they've been through many of our pharmacy and biology facilities, and they're just impressed with how we have the technology. You know, they talk about we have the beef, we have the technology. We've got it all. So if you're looking for, you know, fMRI imaging, we have that. If you're looking for plastics production, we have that. Even in our residence halls, we have learning labs where you can do 3D printing and you can use any kind of state-of-the-art engineering facilities. We've got it. Here are some examples of some other high-tech equipment in different facilities. We have our own welding labs. Like our students in the metallurgy area learn everything about metal. They're it's really pretty fascinating. And then people put a lot of emphasis on STEM, which is certainly in the news all the time, but we also want to make sure that the arts are included. Sometimes people call it STEAM when you add the arts in it. We have beautiful fine arts facilities, lots of studio space, everything from sculpture to photography to illustration. we have the space to make sure that if you want to make your creative idea come to life, we have the spot for you to do it. We also believe very much in the idea that learning takes place in the classroom, but a lot of learning takes place in people meeting up in a space and talking informally. And so in all of our academic facilities, you will see lots of places for people to, they say hang out, but really it's for them to connect. When you have these small discussions, when you form study groups with other people, that's what makes a difference in just going to, say, something online, which is, we have a lot of online classes too. But I think that's what people are missing right now in the pandemic, that ability to just walk across and see someone who's in your class and chat with them and then maybe go over a problem in class or a topic. And so we have a lot of that space built into our academic facilities. We have smaller labs. We're connected with our health. We have UConn Health, which is it's a health center, so it's a full emergency room and surgery and everything else for medical care, but it's also a teaching hospital. So our nursing students as undergraduates are connected with our health facility. If you're a physical therapy undergraduate going into the graduate program, you have connection to the health facilities. Our dental program, all of our students are able to take advantage of our community work as well as graduate and professional school work, even while they're undergraduates. This is a 4-point view again. It gives you an idea of all the different facilities on campus and how we truly have a beautiful campus. It was a land-grant college. We've expanded over, the couple hundred years that we've been around, and we put a lot of pride into making sure that when you're here, it is your home away from home. We want to make sure, again, this is a small discussion class outside of one of our fine arts museums on campus, and it doesn't matter. You're anywhere on campus is going to be a study space. Again, students will find ways to just connect in little corners. Here's an example of our Wilbur Cross building. Beautiful study. This is a quiet study area and one of the most popular places on campus to get a lot of work done because the students here are, it's like silence. And again, small spaces where people connect. Very important. I think that's something that's sometimes undervalued, is that students really want to be with other students who are sharing the same experiences with them, going through the same struggles. We have a lot of what we call cross-pollination, where interdisciplinary is sometimes where students are, we have, like, for instance, we had an engineering program and a nursing program working together. They came up with what's called a smart crib. It was a way to reduce sudden infant death syndrome, where the nursing students spoke about, here are some of the issues babies go through, and the engineering students actually came up with a mattress with some sensors in it, so that if the babies were experiencing any of those symptoms that the nurses had described, it would alert someone. So having ideas exchanged across different disciplines is very important, and you get that in these small spaces as well. And of course, it's also a hive of activity. So there's always a lot going on. When you have about 16,000 students wandering on campus every day, there's a lot going on. And one of the things that we take a lot of pride in is that UConn students wear UConn gear. Okay, we don't walk around ironically wearing things from other colleges. We wear UConn gear. Everywhere you go, you will see UConn gear everywhere. It's amazing how our bookstore does well in their sales. We also have amazing ice cream. It's a destination from all over the world. I can tell you, come here. We will put you to the ice cream challenge. Our ice cream is amazing. It's excellent. 25 flavors. It's made right here on campus from the milk from our cows. We have a football stadium not too far, about 20 minutes from the campus. It's where our football team plays. Great marching band. People do live and die blue and white here. It runs through our veins. You can see it. If you look on your arm, you're probably also running true blue. You just didn't know it. We have a great basketball team. We have the distinction of having our men's and women's win the National Basketball Championship twice in the same year. We've won other championships as well, but to do it both teams in the same year is pretty impressive. That's the great Maya Moore on the right-hand side, number 23. She's done a lot of great social justice work of late. We have 20 Division I teams, everything from field hockey, which is one of our winningest championship teams. We have track and field. There's a women's ice hockey team. You name the sport, we probably have it. If not, we have a club sport. So we have about 40 different club sports. They are like varsity teams in that the students do play on a team. There's a coach, but they usually play local colleges, and they usually fund themselves. We also have a lot of sports that people may not realize. Like, for instance, our most winningest championship team is actually our polo team. We also have fencing, which has become quite popular. And then there's lots of intramurals. So sports are very popular. And our athletic programs are very popular, but we have state-of-the-art, we just have a brand new gym facility. We have inner tube water polo. If you want to hang out with Jonathan, that's our husky dog right there. He's our mascot. And Jonathan is very friendly. And we hopefully will get some sled dog pulling as a new sport. And again, back to the arts, we have a lot of art facilities on campus. We have dozens of a cappella groups for the students to get involved with, other ensembles for music. Just hanging out, people sometimes sled on Horse Barn Hill when we have lots of snow. Right now, it is winter. We haven't had that much snow lately. Hopefully we'll get a storm pretty soon. We have an annual lip sync competition, brings out really the competitive spirit with different ethnic and cultural groups on campus competing for the titles. You want to take yoga and sunrise yoga. We have 6 cultural centers and programs: African American, Asian American, Latin, Puerto Rican and Latin American, Women's Center, Rainbow Center, and Native American programming. We have about 1,000 billion student clubs and organizations. Okay, I'm slightly exaggerating. We have about 600 plus student clubs and organizations. We have a huge fair at the beginning of every semester. If you want to see your email blow up, just walk down and sign up, and you'll see they're involved in everything. You name it, we've got it. That's one thing about UConn students. Very caring, very involved, very dedicated, and really looking for a way to take their skills from the classroom and apply them into leadership positions to make their world better. That's a hallmark of a UConn experience. And this is another example. That's the involvement fair on the left. Hundreds of, thousands of kids showing up for hundreds of clubs to see what they can get involved in. You name it, like I said, we have ethnic, we have Voices of Freedom. We have a spirit rock on campus that the kids paint. They could say, welcome to UConn, like this says, or we could say happy birthday. It really depends on what the groups want to paint on it. Lots of fun activities. We have a 1-ton Sunday in our winter where everyone gets free ice cream because, that's good. We give it away for free. Lots of activities for students to do for fun, from oozeball to suds run to fashion shows. This is Holy, another activity that one of the groups sponsors. A lot of housing on campus. Our students live in traditional, what we call double rooms, but we also have suites and apartments. So if they want to live on campus, we certainly have many different kinds of accommodations to help them move from moving out of their family's home to transitioning to more independent living, to eventually living on their own so that they can go off into their own adult careers. But if you want to get involved in things at UConn, most of our students are involved in multiple things. Like they have a job on campus, they belong to 2 or 3 clubs, they're a major and a minor, they do something, they do volunteering. Our students give over 1 million hours a year to community service, not required, just because they want to. This is a picture of our new student recreation facility, which is pretty swanky. Lots of food. No one goes hungry at UConn. If you need something to eat, just wander into a building. It's likely they're having some food giveaway, or you get a free t-shirt, right, Christina? We get a lot of gear here. But just hanging out on campus, sharing an activity. We have our own radio station, TV station, newspaper. So students are well supported in trying to start careers in journalism and spread truth instead of misinformation. You're going to make friends wherever you go. We have a nice little downtown area with lots of shops and eateries. It's beautiful. Lots of gatherings that go on in there. And the end goal is to get you into a career that you'll love. Sorry, my associate's phone is ringing. But the idea is that you get the credits behind you, go into a path that will lead to a successful graduation. And that is UConn in a nutshell. I think I covered a lot of ground quickly, so I want to leave time for people to ask questions. What did you think, Christina? Did I get through it quickly enough?
You did. That was amazing. I always love seeing pictures of campus because there is a true spirit that happens, at UConn. And I think that there's one of those things. I always say, we're the type of campus that you feel us when
Yes.
you're on campus, or, just looking at the pictures, the YouTube videos and things like that. You really do feel the spirit of UConn. And so when we say we bleed blue, we truly do.
So Claire, if you want to open it up to people, I can't see. I don't know if I can. Let me see.
Yeah,
if I stop sharing screen, you'll just see us. There we are.
There we are. No, thank you so much for that. I was lucky enough to have a couple of days on campus a couple of years ago, and I can vouch that spirit of UConn and those amazing campuses are even better than they look on those pictures. But we've got 7 or 8 minutes left, so I just wanted to to ask out a few questions. We've got one that says, what a beautiful campus. But how do we help the students, particularly those international students, settle into the campus?
Well, Christina, why don't you start and I'll follow up with anything.
Yeah, that I felt missing there. So all of our international students, we welcome them a week earlier than our regular enrolling students. So we do want to make sure our international students engage with campus, some time on their own initially. So they do have that week ahead of time to be able to get accustomed to not only the campus facilities, but, the surrounding areas as well. And so we do organize trips for students to be able to pick up anything that they may need, and they'll work coordinated through our orientation department, but also our International Student and Scholar Services Department. So they'll fill in very closely on that side.
What's nice is that the international students, they're not housed separately. They're integrated into all the other residential areas so that they become a UConn student. It's not like international students coming here. They become just UConn Huskies like everybody else. So they can get jobs on campus. They can join any student clubs and organizations. The cultural centers often help if people have an ethnic identity that they want to explore a little more deeply, but also learn about other ethnic identities. All these centers are open to everybody. So I think for our international students, there's always that the person who goes international is usually a person who's pretty open-minded anyway. So when they come here, they're not looking to, they're not usually wallflowers. They're generally pretty outgoing people, and we want them to be a part of our campus. One of the things we emphasize is our values of inclusivity. It's not just diversity on an ethnic way. It's diversity of thought. It's diversity of, your background. We want to make sure that students, our own students, are learning from people from all over the world and vice versa. So we're very open, and I think our International Center for Students and Scholars is terrific in guiding students who may have any questions about what it's like to be here and to help them while they're here.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Meg. Another quick question for both of you about the ranking of the university. You know that international students tend to really look at those rankings, and I know UConn's got many rankings to be proud of. So could you give us a little bit more detail about those?
Go ahead, Christine.
Sure. So for UConn, we are ranked in the top 25 of public universities, according to U.S. News. And so that is a ranking that we are proud of. And so when we take a look at the public institutions across the U.S., ranking in that top 25 is really something that we've, is a feat for us. It really does show the excitement that students have at UConn, the retention that we have at UConn for students really staying with us throughout their 4 years as well, but the opportunities that we are able to offer. So when you take a look at some of the institutions that we're peered against across those top 25, it's amazing to have, the opportunities that we have and still being the size that we are. And so many of our peers maybe have double the size of what our campus student population is. And I always kind of explain that to students. When you think about a top tier institution, being that we're under 20,000 students really does allow you to have, the opportunities for research, the opportunities for engagements, the opportunities for networking among some of those other public universities.
And one of the nice things is our rankings. You can look at our overall 25 rank, but we have particular programs that are top in the world. Like we have our NEAG School of Education is phenomenal, very highly ranked. The reputation is terrific all over the country. And in that way also, it extends around the world. We have a great physical therapy program. Engineering is one of our primo programs. Our School of Nursing is we have a 98% pass rate first time on what's called the NCLEX. It's the national exam for nurses. And the other 2% pass it on their second time. So individual programs are all like our actuarial science program is outstanding. Our accounting program is outstanding. So even if you're looking at a top 25, which is still an impressive ranking, within our schools, we have a lot of higher ranking programs as well, usually top 1 or 2. So we're very proud of that as well. And we know that the rankings help draw people, and everyone wants to go to some place that they think has a great reputation. But the most important thing is that when you're here, you'll be number one to us. We may have a lot of students, but we're not so big that people get lost. And so that's one of the nice things, that if you come from further away, like your international students do, they're going to find their home here. And to them, that's really the most important thing.
Thank you, Meg. I think we'd all agree choosing the right place is the the most important thing. We've got a couple more questions that have come in. A question from somebody commenting how beautiful the campus is. They're saying, is it in the countryside or are you near to any cities?
We like to say we have the best of both worlds. We are definitely not in the city. Okay, I don't want to mislead people. We're in a small semi-rural community in eastern Connecticut, but we're about an hour and a half from Boston and about 2 hours from New York. We're about 20 minutes from the capital city of the state of Connecticut, which is Hartford. So we're not isolated. We're not like out in the hills or in the, really far away, but we're far enough away that this is its own community. You're not integrated in a city and you're not lost so far out where it's like hours to get anywhere. Literally, you're in your own area, but then if you want to go to Boston, if you want to go to New York or Hartford, it's either a quick bus ride or a quick car trip. It's really not that far at all.
Yeah, when we always talk about the true college town experience and hearing this terminology, that really does describe UConn.
Thank you. I think we've got 4 minutes left, so I think we can fit in 2 more questions quickly. What would you say are the main unique points of the University of Connecticut? What makes it different from other universities in the US? I mean, I think we've touched on this already, but I don't know if you both have just 1 or 2 things that you really feel are unique.
Go ahead, Christine.
I think I'll start and I can let Meg give what her response is as well. I think for me, one of the unique points is really our student populations. I think it's what our students is what drives our campus overall. When we think about major opportunities that we offer at UConn, when we think about programming that we offer at UConn, it's really student driven. And so I always like to make sure students are aware of that. You really dictate how our campus operates, while you're at UConn. So the programs that we offer, the events, when we think about concerts that we offer, those are done through student engagements, and those are done through students doing polling and who do you want to see on campus, have a performance. And so it's really great to know that we're a campus and a university that really does recognize the student's voice. And I think for me, not only as a student, not only as a parent of UConn students, I think that that's an important factor for students to find their own voice through their college experience.
And I would add to Christina's is that one of the great aspects of a university like UConn is that we have all of the state-of-the-art facilities, all those connections to scholars around the world and around the country to connect you to interesting researchships and internships. But at the same time, it's a small enough community that you really feel valued and that you matter when you're here. So you have, academic advisors who are going to be in touch with you. They're going to make sure that you stay on track, that you get an idea of different opportunities available over the summer. We have a thing called the SURF Grant, Summer Undergraduate Research Fund, so we can keep students engaged all year round. We have all the benefits of these large institutions, but we're not so big that you're going to get lost in the process. So we really pride ourselves on the fact that if you're a student and you take advantage of the opportunities, you do your bucket list, when you leave, you'll really feel like you experienced everything you could get out of college. And very few students leave here without having to, we will force you if we have to have, to really make sure that your resume is one that you're proud of and that will get you on track into the career that you want to pursue.
Thank you very much. I'm going to try and sneak in. We've got 2 questions. I'm going to try and sneak them both in. If not, we'll do one and we'll pull the other one over to Thursday. How many different nationalities are represented on campus, if you know that?
Is it 98 countries?
Yep, 98 countries is what's represented on campus. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you. Now we've got one more question about life in Connecticut, the situation with COVID in the States. I think we'll bring that in. Unfortunately, I can't see the name of the person who's posted that. But if you are able to just drop me a line, we've run out of time, but we'll make sure we bring that into Thursday's sessions, or we'll arrange a quick networking meeting with you too. But I wanted to say a massive thank you, Meg and Christina, for that. I think everybody's feeling as excited about Connecticut as I am, and we look forward to sending many wonderful students your way. And we will see you through the rest of the week for the Coffee, the Chats and Thursday sessions. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.